Okay, right, here we go. And I'm doing this because I'm really hoping it's going to help, because my head has been wrapped in knots over this. You have to help me, basically. Okay, so I have 3 branches on Nitro at the moment that I'm working on to potentially refactor the type system. And there are a couple of things. This is the GitHub issue pull request to have a look at. Hey Solomon. So basically, I'm trying to make this. Oh, super! That's fun. That's fun. Share a link if you can. I guess it's probably too soon to do that. But basically, I'm still working on this and this, and there's So these are the kinds of things that I'm working on. I want to be able to have full type safety. I'll show you in the fixture for Nitro. So what we want to be able to do is, for example, get a type error if we omit the query, or if we pass the wrong query. And the thing is, this is working. This still needs to work. We still need to detect if there is a missing options. So that's something I need to fix. But then we also ideally want to have type hinting here. So it should know that it should be this. And I think this might not be achievable, but we'll see. Or for example, it should basically say query should be required at this point, but it isn't, because I've adopted a different approach here, which is overload based. So, sorry, this might be a little bit tedious, but I'm just warning you in advance. So what we're doing is we have these types, which we are working with. And I'm doing my best to basically, so this is the sort of default value. We provide sort of basic unknown responses if it doesn't match anything in our matched routes. And we have this, which is basically creating some types. And at the moment, basically, we are only omitting the options being optional if the method is optional. So if it's a get method, but basically or no method specified. But we do also want to disallow this if it's required to include an input. So basically, and that's what I'm exploring here. So we want to be able to do something like detect if we can get away with this, and if I can do it, then that would be a very nice type safety feature to be able to add. I don't want to see the diff. So what I've tried is stuff like this. So be able to taking all of the, so I might be able to do something like this. Which I think I've tried before. So I can't do anything here because it's already optional. But I might be able to do something like this. So if I said partial input extends input, then that, or never. So that if I run that, it's going to what's it going to do? I think throw lots of type errors, so 27 of them, because basically now everything gets typed as any. But I do want to do something like this. I want to basically make this an invalid type if the I don't want this to be a valid overload if input is required. So I would say maybe something like is required input extends true, then root type or is optional. And so I guess if I then write a type I should be able to test if this works. So let's just open up the test fixture. Nitro roots. And we basically need this new is required type. So type is optional, t equals false. Okay, so that's worked in that now it's going to, let's put this at the top of the screen, because that's worked in that it now is going to require an options object for everything. Okay, and if I say true, then it's not going to require an options object for everything. So right, this type is working. It's basically flipping on and off whether the options object is required. So what we want to be able to do here is have a, I'm just going to close this so it doesn't overwrite my file. So what we want to be able to do is have a import type fetch from h3, import type fetch request, what is it? Event handler request. Okay, so this is the thing. So t extends, also just a t extends record string any. Okay, that's fair enough. And basically, if body extends key of t, then if I did this, it's also not going to work. Like this isn't valid because I say that. Well, that actually did seem to work as it happens. That's weird. That is very weird. Why is that happening? Event handler input is event handler request. Oh. If I did that here, so type D is optional. Is that optional? It is optional. Type E is optional. Query ID string. Is that optional? It's not optional. That's weird. How about this will presumably fail entire. Oh yeah, of course it will fail because I only provide bodies. This will, yeah, exactly. So we need to do a little bit more than just detect whether body is useful. Hey Yale, nice to see you. So if body is in it, then if undefined extends key extends t body, then it's basically we have to detect whether both body and query allow undefined types. David, you're going to save me on this. Basically, I want to know whether both. So this, I want this to be true, and I want this to be false, and I want this to be false. Actually, I should just wonder if I can use satisfies in this context. Probably not. Is that going to work? No. Satisfies is going to have to be applied to an actual object. So what I want to do is say const lowercase equals. Is that going to work? Yeah, okay. So basically, let's just get a test fixed. This is TypeScript. This is a terrible language that you should never ever do anything with at all. How about this? I might just try this. Okay. Why is this not working? Really? Hey, I'm glad. Oh, this is because it's a declaration file. Okay, and that's also why this isn't going to work. So let's just do declare const d D is true, and that should fail. It's not. Type. Yeah. Well, like, how do I make an assertion here? I want to assert. I mean, I can move all of this into a different place. I'll move it all into my types file. So basically, I want to be able to. I want to be able to just pull out whether this thing is yes. Okay, that's right. Okay, yeah, that's the type test I want. So I need to refactor this is optional query to basically help me figure out whether whether this thing is in fact optional, whether the message requires either a query or body. So that should be true. This one should be false, and this one should be false. And so and at the moment it happens to be working for that one just because I've hard-coded it to whether or not body is allowed or not. So what I want to do is instead, okay, so body extends key of T, and well, so one option would be that like partial T extends T, then it's false, then it is optional, or it's true. Like that's the simplest, and it works, right? So that all works fine, and I guess that probably compares the entire object. But the thing is, well, let's see, does that work if I include it in the build? So if I basically go down to here and add this helper is optional type, and then I use it up there, will that work? No, see, it won't work. And I'm guessing it's because it's too complex. Like that's my current guess. That basically, okay, so, well, let me just save that. Okay. So we have all kinds of errors because this is now falling into an any. Now this isn't something I provided. I think this is actually any just because of the complexity of the query. That's my guess. So if we open up the roots object here, I guess we can now play with it a little bit more. So is optional. If we have a look here, let's find one which is in fact not optional. So API upload, it can't be optional. Oh no, typed roots is a better one. So I have typed roots, which is one where I've specified an input type. So if you actually have a look at the type that we generate here, it specifies that it has to have a query, and that query has to have an ID of string. So what I don't want to do is for this one with an optional options to be allowable, because you have to specify the options and you have to specify more specifically the query object. And actually, while we're at it with a query object, I think I should disallow this here in favor of specifically, like a manual query, in favor of specifically forcing the, that will be a root type, I guess, for specifically requiring, yeah, the query to be passed in the options. Okay. So, oh, that's changed something, but I don't think it's addressed this problem. Okay, so what we want is to be able here in the roots to modify is optional, so it has a better chance of doing this. I think less complex. So if I do something like, and it was working a moment ago when I just did a test, so I think it's the partial is just too complex. So if I say body extends key of t, and query extends key of t, then it's going to be whether t body and t query extends undefined, maybe, then it's true. Otherwise, we have only t body, so it's just about whether t body extends undefined, and in the final case, so if t body extends undefined, wait. So if the two extend undefined, then it's true. Otherwise, it is false. Otherwise, t body extends undefined, then it's true. Otherwise, it's false. Otherwise, it's true. Is that right? Not 100% sure that is right. So I think I might need to pull it out and stick it in my types again and do a little quick test. So if we have this optionality string, it doesn't work for one with a query because we're not testing that. Right. So we need to test it here. Let me write this a bit better. I think half of the problem with TypeScript generics is how they are written, because basically it's effectively a language written in ternaries, and it just means that you have, so it's very difficult to keep track. I think it would be nice to rewrite TypeScript as a language, like to think about TypeScript generics, how you could write this better. Could you write it procedurally? Okay, so we basically say, is it undefined? Is it undefined? Wait a second. Okay, so at the bottom, we still have to replicate some of this. So if body is not key of t, we still have to ask is query, and if query, then we're going to basically handle that, and we'll say if it is undefined, then it is optional, otherwise it is not, and otherwise if there is no, wait a second, if there is no query in then it will say it is also optional. Okay, that is answering those questions. Let's try sticking it back in here. Does that do anything for me? Huh, it's increased the number of errors. The ternary is terrible. Like it's honestly, okay, so what have I done wrong here? Is it the extending undefined? Do I need to put it the other way around? Okay, what is failing? It's failing because it thinks it has to include options on everything now. So basically, this is optional type is always returning. It's always returning in these cases false, and it's always returning false, presumably because this is not extending undefined. So here's one thing that I often. Let's just check that we're using it right. The thing is, these look right. So it's saying that is optional, which should be most of them. And this, it's saying, is not optional. We have somehow fewer errors now that I've run it. I've regenerated the file. Oh, but that's because we've reverted back to the previous is optional generic. So I'm going to paste this back in the build step. And we're going to use that up here again. Let's try that one more time. Yes, you can. And so that's the query. And this is the test that I want to meet. The thing is, it is working. Like, the test is passing. I'll have to type event handler request. Maybe I can add a lib h3. Okay, I'm not 100% sure that worked. You can figure it out anyway. You basically, event handler request should be this. It's very. I can actually grab it from here. There we go. So that's a playground if you want to basically solve the same problem, and probably faster. Okay, so we have this right. So we've got this generated, and for some reason in the type test, it is returning back what I'm not expecting. So API hello, which is a root which is also here. It's saying that is an optional event handler 5 input is true, and therefore is not optional. So it's saying it's not optional. This is the same as event handler request, but is optional event handler request is true. Okay, that seems to be working for me now. I think I might have had to click save, but is it working? Okay, so like the point is that the type seems to have worked. Can I make it better? Like, I'm doing this sort of extends undefined. What happens if I do undefined extends? Like, does that work? No, because basically that's always going to end up true. So why isn't this working when applied in bulk? That's what I want to know. Why? Someone knows this. Like, it must be a Thank you. That's very kind. Okay, now I'm just waiting. I'm like, in a moment, David is going to come back with some incredible solution. So I'm like, my motivation is entirely gone. I could just sit. Let's see. It's all on David. It totally is. And actually, Daniel, you appear to be looking at it as well. So yeah, it's true. All just waiting. Okay, let's see. Body and query extend undefined. Okay, so this is one thing that we can. This is how I debug these things, which I'm not saying it's a good way of doing it, but what we can do is basically pass sort of specific options here. So it's basically coming up as never optional. So if I come to this falses and basically say not optional because of, and then look at the query we have here, and basically we pass that in. So we're getting our sort of specific sort of error logs coming in. And if I just change the type here so that when we're, not the type there, if I change the type, say fetch API hello, we go grab this here. So we're currently looking at this. It's not extending true. So instead we're just going to pass the value of is optional, which is also going to fail, but it's hopefully going to give me a better error. Ooh, it's not giving me a better error. Oh, it's not giving me a better error because it's still not fitting this. Okay, let me just pull it in a different kind of way. Let me just pull it in directly here. So type example is optional. Actually, I'll do it in here. What am I doing? Okay, right. So this is what I'm looking for. And it's saying not optional because tbody and tquery extend undefined. Okay. So, now that's a nice looking logo there, Domo. So basically it's saying yep, it has both body and query, but body and query don't extend undefined. Well, let me see if I can make this just slightly more, because I guess I'm a little bit simplifying. Okay, so I could try this. So say so now tbody extend. Well, I could actually short circuit it, I guess. So if tbody extends undefined, then we can look further and basically say query extends key of t and tquery extends undefined, then it's optional, true. Otherwise it's false. And if there's no query, then it's whatever the value of the body, which is true. And if body doesn't extend undefined, then it is not optional, so it's false. So then we fall back to our query here. Okay, so I think that might simplify it slightly because we're taking each option separately, but it doesn't actually simplify anything for us. So if we try again the okay, I'm just going to copy this so I don't lose this incarnation of is optional, and go back to what it was. Which is undefined extends. You are a genius, David. That is right. Okay, so that is, and that's basically, it's different from the others because this time we're sort of pushing them, smushing them together. So basically, oh, and this is not working because of the change that I deliberately made. Yeah, definitely applause there. Okay, so we now have a beta is optional type, which we're just going to stick in here while we still have the chance. Just swapping that around. Okay, and just check. Great, 3 errors, and those are basically caused by me removing the query string as a valid option. Now I could keep the query string as a valid option, I guess. You don't have to remove it. I just thought it might be a slightly better thing for us to ask people if they want types to use the built-in. But if we keep that there and rerun, we have all of our types passing. Okay, that's good. Let's just commit all of that. And remove all of this. Great. So now the thing about this, of course, is that we still do not get type hinting there. Okay, what's that? Oh, I indented it, which is right. Okay, and then here, I guess, okay, what was the change there? Yeah, matched root. That is something we need to have a look at, but that is also not introduced by this PR. But we can have a look. So basically our matched root, we have got this, okay, I'm just going to commit it all. Okay, so basically I'm adding a second overload. And I'll show you this in a second. Well, I'll actually just keep it there and I'll do a pouch commit. Whoops, I think I might have included too much. Let's just pop the deprecated bit off. Basically, it's possible to provide type support at the cost of type safety, like auto-completion at the cost of type safety. So if so I'll just say this, fix, improve type safety with optional options param. Did the statue just move? That would be interesting because I wouldn't see it because I'm looking at the computer screen. But hi, Okoro, it's nice to see you. Okay, that's good. So Cool. Okay, so next thing, okay, so basically, if we do this, so what this does is adds a deprecated option, which does accept anything. See you, Daniel. Oh, you're not going. You're just saying to, hey, Todd, hello. Nice to see you. So basically this, if this is here, it's going to add now an extra thing. So it will do this. And it will, we'll get errors now because we're not getting errors. So in our type fixture now, up here, we're not getting errors. Instead, they're reported as deprecated. And if we were to do something like this, A is going to be a never. So it would actually error out if you tried to use the result. Now this is bad, but good. So the good thing is that it gives you the type support. So the auto completion. So you would be able to do method, and it's going to tell you it has to be a post. Or here, you're going to do query, and it's going to tell you it needs to be an ID, right? So this is good user experience, but it lies because it's not throwing a type error, So it's basically just marking it as deprecated, and we could add like some deprecation text which says like this is not a valid signature, but you have to provide some options. What do people think? Like this is not great. Or is it great? Tell me. What's a better developer experience? Your developer experience here, gives you the type support. Okay, so this is the situation. So I can basically do two things. So this one, this is the wrong method. So it needs to be a post method. And so it's going to tell you that by drawing a line through it, and then it's going to autocomplete the correct method there. Okay, so that is an option. And the same is true for the query. So here it's going to say, you're going to give the query, and then it's going to tell you it needs to be the ID. So you're going to get type support of inputs. You know what it should be. But the other option is that we could go back to build, and we basically drop this and run it again. And this is now the result you get. What happens is that you get type errors on these. So it's incorrect, and that will stop your build. So the other one, the deprecation, isn't going to stop your build. You might change your API route, and your build still goes through. If you're not actually looking at the file, you're not going to see the line through it. Well, that's an interesting question, Daniel. And so this will basically give you a worse error. So the error here is just string is not assignable to parameter of type request or URL. So that doesn't even tell you what it is. Basically, because the point, this option is more performant. This implementation, the whole PR, is more performant because what it does is it short circuit. It basically only matches one thing. So if it doesn't match via overload, it doesn't keep it in memory as a valid option. So it just goes down the list, and the first one that matches is the one that you get the type support for. So it's more performant, but on the other hand, you don't get it doesn't know what it should be because it's just gone down a list. And yes, the URL is right here, but the options didn't match, and so it moved on to the next URL. And so you see when you hover over it, the alphabetically last possible option is listed there because it's not valid. Now, what I could do, what we could do, I guess, is at the very end, stick something that gives you a better error, maybe. So what we could do is do something like this. Manually put in a type that is also going to fail, but it's not going to look like it was an existing type. We could try that. So if this is an example type and we just stick a manual one in here, and we do something like this, URL is sort of non-nat. I'm not sure this is better. So we could basically do something like what's going on? Oh, so basically we could do something like, let's see what this does. I think it will still throw that. Hopefully it will still throw the type error. But what it now says is, if you hover over the fetch, it says URL non-matching. Or we could even make it a little bit better. Let's try this. We could do U or T, and then message. Could not match Yeah, it's tough, isn't it? Could not match matched root. We have this matched roots thing. Because of missing options, of missing or incorrect options for that path. Oops. Okay, so what we want is this. We want that. I think. Oh, no. What if could we do it like this? Okay, so that, oh no, no, no. Joshua, or Josh, nice to see you. What is a shower orange? Josh, you don't tell me you didn't tell them what a shower orange is. Have you failed? Has he failed? Did he not tell you what a shower orange was? Or, like, honestly, like, this is what life is about. No, he didn't tell you. This is both wonderful and also terrible. So it's absolutely, no, I get that. Go, Josh. I'll catch up with you later. But at the same time, you should feel bad about not telling them what a shower orange is. Like that. I mean, I'm glad you gave me the joy of telling them instead. But oh yeah. Now, if only I had some kind of like linting or something to improve my sort of strategy here. Okay, so this is the thing. Who here knows what a shower? Okay, we're going to do this. I think there's a poll thing. I think I've done it once before. We're starting a poll. Do you know what a shower orange is? And the answer is yes or no. And it is going to be, the minimum amount of time is a minute. So I'm sorry it takes so long. Tell me, do you know what a shower orange is? You do. People know what a shower orange is. This is probably because I probably never shut up about shower oranges. Like, unbelievable. Like, look at the, like, Alien, honestly, you have to look at these numbers and think, you are the one who doesn't. Like this is a specific, a very unbelievable 10 people, like 90%. I need to blog about it. It's true. This is one of those important things. It's like you need to take time to really get the okay. So there needs to be more than one person who doesn't know, because clearly Ven doesn't know and Alien doesn't know. Like, you can admit it. You can say that you don't know what a shower orange is. That would be fine. Like, it's okay. Sorry. No, I got it totally wrong. Sorry, you mean 92% of people do not know what a shower orange is. Oh, goodness. Okay, people, I totally read that wrong. So, people, a shower orange is an orange that you eat in the shower. Okay, let me explain. When you eat an orange, if it's a nice juicy orange or a nectarine or a peach, what happens? Juice. It comes like it's juicy. You have at the same time as you're enjoying it, you are also, a part of your mind is saying to yourself, is this dripping? Do I have to be careful about how I eat it? Is it in any way going to mess up my day if I get orange juice all over, or peach juice in my hair or on my fingers? If you get sticky fingers, but if you have it in the shower, I just want you to imagine you are totally there to appreciate the joy of the fruit. You don't worry about anything else. Sticky fingers are a thing of the past. It can be as juicy as you like. It is totally going to be okay. Now, there is actually a subreddit called Shower Orange, an enlightenment of the soul. Check it out. It exists. And these are stories of people trying shower oranges. Look, now this is a bit dangerous, like I feel, but it's a wholesome forum. Look at the shower oranges. Is this not incredible? I don't want to scroll too far, but you can see it's a wholesome channel. Shower oranges are a thing, and they can be applied to other things too, I imagine. Other like really sticky, messy foods, I think you could have them in the shower. It would make, like, it does potentially good things, right? Are you still not convinced? You're probably not convinced. Okay. Too much work. All the work is, yeah, shower bread. It's not shower bread, it's bath toast. So at that point, it's all about having a bath. Like, a bath is one of the most relaxing things in the world. Like, honestly. Nice hot bath, bowl of porridge, some toast on the side, a good book. That's doable, right? I think that could be quite a nice thing to do. So I cannot actually remember the last time I've had a bath, which probably, what do you mean? Where is that American pride? Orange eaters, or bath toasters. Those are the options. Yes, Neil, I'm sorry. I took it literally. And I do have a point, right? Okay, so what I'm trying to do is this. And basically, we need to make sure it doesn't match. This is the thing. So this basically has to that's not going to work. It has to be optional. Okay, so what I'm trying to do here is basically display a better error message. And if I can display a better error message and still throw an error, then that's better, right? So I need to be able to calculate this message. That's fine. It's working fine. It'll calculate it for me. So this will show could not match. That's better, right? It tells you something. Ugly American puppy, not like this. What is that? Ugly American puppy. What have you just done? So, I can't actually remember the last time I've had a bath. Which probably. What do you mean? Where is that American pride? I don't even know what that clip's saying. Okay, so right. So basically, this is giving us a nice little generic, but it needs to fail in the same way as everything else has failed. So it needs to fail by requiring something, maybe. Thing is, if we require options. How about options undefined? How about that? It's not going to match. Oh, I see what you mean. A shower. What? There's still options, right? Yeah, sorry, Sandros, go away. I did promise that this was going to be it's going to be a bit painful. See you, Alien. Oh, and also congratulations. How did I not say this? Everyone, he's one of the newest members of the Astro Core team, in charge, sort of focusing on DX, and couldn't imagine a better person for it. So that is really, really delightful to hear. I might just have to not do this. Oh, I just see a notification. Sebastian has tweeted it out. Have a look. Let's see. There we go. You can share your Nuxter profile. Cool. Check it out. I think basically you need to let's see. You need to basically put your GitHub username in there. You just commented on what? What have you commented on? Yes, I recognize myself in that comment. There's no offense taken. That is true. That is absolutely true. Okay. What am I doing? I'm creating issues right now. Right now, I'm doing it. So yeah. I think creating this better error message is something I might have to leave for another day. So it's basically going to throw an error, but it's not going to give a message. So that's a pain. Except that I guess we could still have a something here, which basically just says message. Basically just says this. Okay, so I think that will throw, like it will give, rather than show something about, yeah, so that's slightly better, I think. But it's still not perfect, right? But it's slightly better. Oh, and this is not, let's try. Okay. Yeah. Cool. But it still doesn't type. It still doesn't method options. So it's not just method options, it's also input options, so body or query. So so either method, query, or body. Missing, required. Something like that. Is that better? And then the fixture, I removed the expect errors, which is why we're getting errors. So we can drop the deprecation thing because do we think the deprecation is not worth it, right? So not taking that in, but we do have to take in that. Not split that, not that, but yes, this. So fix improve error message when no root is matched. And deprecation. Wait, what's happening here? Okay, I think this is better than this option. So basically, typed inputs the return. We're going to check out typed inputs and, whoops. Just the existing PR. Get merge feed typed inputs the return. And great. Okay, so that should hopefully be slightly better. So we now do that. But it still doesn't provide the auto-completion. Okay, the draft PR basically says, I've not finished work on it. So what I intend by it is this thing is being worked on, and so it's not waiting on the maintainer. So I would hope Puya is going to look at his pull requests for Nitro, because he'll review everything before it gets merged, and he will think, oh, all of these ones with draft, they are not waiting on me. They are being worked on by the author. When I am ready as the author of the PR and ready for a maintainer to review it, then I will mark it as ready for review, and I will request Puya's review. Sorry, I'll mark it as ready for review. That it's not draft anymore at that point. So that's what I mean. So typically as well in Nuxt, if someone is working on a Nuxt PR, and sometimes I will even do that if there's something else has to be done, then I might mark it as draft. And then when they're done doing that thing, they can unmark it as draft, and it helps me filter. So at this point, what I can easily do here, you see that some of these things are still being worked on. I can just filter it out by saying minus is draft, and then those don't appear at all. So I can just focus on the ones that are ready for review, that might be ready to be merged. And that is a real time saver in terms of reviewing things. Let's see, what's the issue here? Yeah, this seems reasonable. Okay, so is this good? Let's do a little test, by the way. We'll do a quick test on the performance. So if we have a, I'll think I might have to do this locally. So okay, and what I want to do is, what do I want to do? All right, I'm going to go into test fixture. I'm going to init a new package. Oh, it has one, great. Great, and I'm going to run npm nitro dev test fixture. I have to do that to generate the types. And then into the fixture, I'm now going to run tsc, and I'm going to generate a trace for this new fixture. This will tell me all kinds of information about the performance of the types and how fast they take to run. And then we can open that and have a little look. We're also going to want to do the same with the current implementation. Thank you. That's very nice of you to say. I took Tim Bennick's recommendation. It's basically there, and I also went through Cassidy's course. She has an email course on like mechanical keyboards, which I found quite useful. Okay, so that should generate some trace data. And I'm just going to check out main, do the same thing. Run the dev server to regenerate the types, and then run the trace. And I'm going to pull this into previous folder, and then we can actually just do a quick check. So if I open up what is it? Peto, tracing, Chrome. Oh wait, it was appearing. What is it called? Perfetto. Chrome tracing. And then open Perfetto. Okay, so let's open the trace file. And what is it? Code, Nitro, and test fixture typed. And I'll do the same in a new window and load the old one in previous. We can do a quick compare. So basically, we have some information here on the tracing of the file. And this file here, I believe, is our test fixture. And we can see how long it took, 815 milliseconds to run. This is the, which one is this? And this is the other one. This took 1 second, 318 milliseconds to run. The tests on that type file. I think this is the previous one, and this is the updated one. The entire thing, this is the fetch types, I think. And that's the same one there. So it's rough, like it's 200 milliseconds faster as well to run that bit. So in general, the entire program is, the difference is, this is also a lot slower than normal because of me streaming, believe it or not. So it's about relative rather than absolute. But like the entire program here looks like it is coming in at about just under 20 seconds. What is this saying? So from the beginning of checking the source file to the end is 15 seconds. And here it is, 7.8, 7.9. So let's just check, is that really the case? Let's move that, maybe make it a little bit less. Still, we basically sped this up by something 50. So this is not runtime. No, we're just talking about types. So this is running effectively a TypeScript build. So like this is type checking the entire Nitro code base and the Nitro tests. But it's gone from 14.7 to 7.9 seconds. So that is a very significant speed up. Let's just check. Okay, I'm going to take it to the very beginning of here, if I can. Okay, 14.9, and I need to do the same here because this is not the very beginning. Right. There we go. 8.3. So I'll update the, like I think that's a significant performance improvement. So let's just update it here. Get some proportions. So what was it before? It was 14.9 down to 8.3. Or rather, that's almost 50%. Like that's much, much faster. Okay, I think that is probably useful. There's one more thing that we have to do, which basically is a big deal. And that is we have to be able to export this in a way that Nuxt can consume, or any other framework. Because this types the $fetch function, but we need to also type use fetch and other things that consume it. So ideally what we would want to be able to do is have a type that we can basically export that allows us to, maybe in source types, that basically allows us to grab the function of some kind of function that basically grab the options for a URL and grab the result of that URL. So we want to be able to do something like this. Export type. So we already have matched roots. Okay. We want to be able to do something similar. So we want to export sort of matched options. And we want to export, obviously, matched roots. And we want to have maybe a matched results or something like that. And so we are going to say r extends string. And this would be the same. And it would be something like matched roots r. Well, this is the thing. We might need to add entirely new types in order to allow us to access this. So at the moment, if I'm just going to, let's play with these. So they'll go into our test fixture. And basically, we have some of these things. So if we have matched roots, we currently can get something like roots for pattern. We have some dynamic patterns here. So we've got like API param. So if we had matched roots API param thing, it's going to come back with this pattern, API param ID. So that, go on, David. What are you saying? Tell me. So what this is coming back with is the possible roots, which is fine. What we want to be able to do is somehow get a function signature, like get the valid options that go with that root. So something like, and then get the results the result for that root. So the matched results would be something like r extends string, o extends options, and so you could then like build up to a final result. Something like this. And so what we want to be able to do is pull out our valid options. But the tricky thing right now is that they are in overload mode, which is the whole performance improvement. And to pull them out will be a lot trickier. So it will be something like, well, I wonder what would happen if we did this. So type URLs is parameters fetch. Parameters rather. So I think that is actually, okay, so again, it's going to do exactly what we would expect. What if we did this? What if we did r extends string, and we basically pass it, oh, but that's not the, that's the default response. Maybe this is what we have to configure. So basically at the moment, we pass the default response and the default fetch request. What if we had a way to pass in the URL that we want to match? So we could do something like, for internal fetch here, we have raw, default response, the fetch request, and raw. And we could basically, if we have a raw, basically is that, like, is it unwrapped, like with $fetch or not? So if we did something, okay, basically we would want to be able to pass in like actual URL and actual options, and basically like refine down what we're getting back. Actually, it might just be that the URL is enough to give us the possible option, because what this would do is give us, it's still going to give us an overload. Still going to give us an overload. So I think we do want to be able to refine it like this. Okay, so the actual, and we can then access the return type and the specific options from the URL. So, but if we did something like u is extends string equals string, is unknown maybe. And basically, we're not going to consume it here, but we could consume it in our build type. So if we basically are generating our types here, we have our internal fetch signature raw. We could also have u, and then we can consume it in this kind of way. We currently have the root type. We could say u unknown extends u. Wait a second. What we're wanting to do is, if someone passes in the root type, for it basically to cancel out every other thing so that we don't have to pay attention to it. So something like unknown extends u. So in other words, nobody's passed anything, then we do exactly what we're doing at the moment. But if someone has passed something, then at this point we would be able to say u extends root type. Then root type or never. Okay, what is that going to do? Okay, well, it's not done anything yet because it's not changed anything. But what I want to be able to see is what will happen if I do this. If I do fetch, or internal fetch specifically, if I do internal fetch, I guess I have to export it maybe. It is exported. Okay, I want to see what is the type of internal fetch, unknown, any, false, and like API param thing. Well, that's not very illuminating. So if I say that okay, it's still not matching it. What if I just do, let's simplify it and say type true. Interesting. Okay, what are my options now? Still nothing. What if I say type root? What if I, no, okay, let's try this again. Type example, and then I want to say type p is parameters example. I would expect to see, yeah, it's the, okay, so that's not been a successful approach. Why is that? So basically we have this u extends. So I've done unknown extends u. Maybe it should be u extends unknown. Or no, maybe it's the other one. And actually, I think this could be even further in. I think it should be, in this case, that is optional should go first. And then we basically should do that here. Okay, so let's just see what this pattern does. So if we somewhere had this, and u at this point is, let's just check, response request raw u. Response request raw u. So if we said, basically u here is going to be typed root. So that's going to be, that is going to be default. That's when the user hasn't picked anything. Okay, so this should be unknown extends u. Yeah. So then what we want is for that to extend U as well. No. So what about the, oh, but it needs to be typed root. Okay. So U extends that. Could we say U extends that? Yes. So it's unknown extends U in the first half of this. And then in the second half of it, we should be able to use the U extends. Okay. So if we regenerate that, hey Reaper, welcome. Then I should be able to get out of here. Still not. Okay. So what we're doing in here with typed roots, plural, is still not right. Okay. Just out of curiosity, is the point that this actually does match? If I drop that out and have a look, it falls back to the 500 above it. So I think it's not really grabbing out the Well, let's try to replicate this in a slightly smaller set. So if we have our typed roots here, here's a little example of that, and maybe two more. So we've got all of those, and we can actually just pull it out here. And so if we said, and I'll just drop that and sort of take full control over this. So we've got just these 6 roots, and we will basically pull that. Okay, so we have our 6 roots, and the thing that we're doing is checking the parameters, which in this case are going to be the last of these options. Is it now we're passing in our U, which in this case is typed roots, and if we just basically replaced that U everywhere with typed roots and popped it up like that. Does that change anything? No. So the issue, it's not to do with the generic and how it's being passed in. It is totally this is a totally new thing. What we've done so far is this PR. And basically, the main issue at the moment is that we need to now be able to use, well, I've moved the Nitro types to overload based, which is much more performant. But now we need to be able to extract the types for use elsewhere, like in Nuxt. Because otherwise Nuxt has to re-implement this all itself, and then it's very fragile. Even to some extent, moving my phone over here. Does that help? Okay, so what's happening here is that type roots extends. That's weird. Okay, so this is, how does type roots extend that? So let's just pop these in. So this would be it was unknown. And is that what it ends up being? It is. Okay, so it's saying that type-root does extend. Oh, for goodness sake. Okay, the problem is it should be. It's saying it should be the other way around. So if we did this. Then that will validate out to never. Which is right, but this should validate out to, those shouldn't validate out. Okay, so this should be, how about that? Also, not validating. Hey, Raina, nice to see you. And you just submitted a CFP, I think. How about instead we do that? Because that should then resolve to, no? Oh, the issue here is that, right, this, it's the last never. It shouldn't be in the last never. That's the issue. Okay, sorry. Getting a bit, so unknown extends, and then we have got a couple options for how we handle this. So basically, the way we're extracting it should be, do U and root type. Okay, if unknown extends U, then it's the root type. Otherwise, it's U and root type. So we have to, let's just run that. Well, fingers crossed. Nice to see that. Okay, I've generated some invalid code. What's the... What's the issue? Oh, it's actually in my fetch types. Oh, what's happened here? There we go. So again, this is coming in as Let's just do this. Okay, we decided it should be unknown extends u, I think. Oh, that may be a bad example because it's optional. Sorry, let's do this up here. So here we have the URL. Okay, so just let's swap it around to unknown extends u and see if that makes a difference. Wait, that is what it is. So which one is correct? Yeah, I'll reduce the surface area again. So basically, if we pull down sort of everything but here, and what I did last time was also swap this out. We'll do the same. So typed roots, and then delete so basically this is giving us a preview of what the actual resolved value should be, I hope. So what we want to see, ideally, is that this URL is resolved, but it's resolved to never. You think it's the ternary. So basically, if, or that one, it should be resolved to never. This one is the one. So that is resolved to type roots. And this one, static flags. Well, that's weird. So I would expect to see type roots extends unknown. Okay, so it shouldn't. Okay, let's do this again. So we'll try it. Let's just split the screen so we have both. Okay, so we basically are wanting to see what our parameters are going to be for type roots. And it's pulling up the last one, which is static flags, which is fair enough because it actually is, like it is showing up here. If we change u extends unknown to unknown extends u, then we are going to get the same thing. Okay, sorry, you think that they're taking different priority. I think in TypeScript, they are top priority, and so it almost doesn't matter if you put, in this case, yeah, string always extends unknown. So how do we, I think, no, I've totally been able to do this before, where if someone doesn't provide an option, it defaults, like you can detect that. So you could do something like type test d is unknown equals d extends unknown nothing or d. So you could basically say like type a is test, here we go, and then a should be nothing. Oh wait, it's the other way around. So basically we should be able to have here, and then if we don't pass it, we get nothing. So you can detect it if you do unknown extends, which is what we need to do, I guess. but that doesn't seem to be. Let's try that again. But that doesn't seem to resolve it, basically. But it is helpful to have been through this quick check. So it should be unknown extends. So we'll just do that. We'll swap that out. Wait, was that what it was? It was that. So unknown extends you. So that should be fine. That should be able to like pull it out, like pull out whether a value has been provided or not. So it'll work there. So if we have then the params, okay, if I I'll just say declare, just type u is typed roots, and let's just drop it from here. So we should now be able to see. Oh, I see. Maybe this is the thing that you're talking about. Okay, this was a shortcut, so this is clearly not working. So what we want to do something like is u extends that, then u or never. Yeah, so we'll try that. I basically have to pop into build again and do this. So instead of u and, we'll say u extends. Oops. Okay, still not working. Let's just pull out, do what we did again. So type u is typed roots. We're going to remove the generic. So, but now it's able to hard code it. So it should, for example, no, that's never, that's typed roots, that's never, that's never, that's never. That's great. So that is working so far as like filtering out the patterns. The issue is the parameters, I think. So if I were to do something like example here, and I would type it, let's say const c example is a function, and I were to call it, it's going to pull in typed roots. That's good. And what's more, is it going to give me some options? It's going to say it's not valid, probably because it has to be. No, it's because we take query string. Yeah, so it's inherited all of the typings so far. So this is good. But, let's put that u in there and check that it still works. Yes. So it's inherited all the typings. But the issue is that this parameters thing is clearly not filtering out invalid ones. So maybe we have to exclude. So basically exclude from that any URL never to any. Okay, because this is excluding a Mehmet, hello. The Movies app was shared as an example of the View Transitions API, which I'm going to actually get on a stream and talk to Ben Holmes a bit later today on. So the issue is we have a way of extracting this at this point, the actual a function, a fetch function, but that's actually not that useful, which is limited. So that's true. That's maybe valuable. But the problem is parameters is just pulling out only. Parameters basically not respecting the TypeScript behavior of waterfalling until it finds something that works. Instead, it's just grabbing the last one, even if it's not a valid. So that the parameters here are sorry, the fetch there. Is there a way of grabbing out? Like, it's not that it's a huge type, it's that it is a small type. It is only grabbing the last overload. So the question, like, is there a better way of doing it? Probably there is. So maybe we could do something like extends URL. Actually, maybe we don't even have to do this thing, but let's see. Extends URL string options infer O to any, then it's going to be O or never. And so if we do that, I guess that's not optional, maybe? Okay. What am I doing? I am actually just about to stop. So for everybody just about to join, I'm going to have to take a bit of a break and grab some dinner and etc. Play with my kid. The best way to learn TypeScript, I haven't read it myself, but Matt Pocock is great. Josh Goldberg are great. Like, I would look at their stuff. They've got some books, they've got some courses. I would check them out. There's also Discord. Matt Pocock has a Discord server, which is very much well worth following. checking out. So that's where I would go. Yeah, well, I mean, hello, look at that name. You said TypeScript. I said TypeScript. You could probably come and sort of assist me. But anyway, I'm actually just about to go. So we'll do some more types another day. But right now, I need to wrap this up. And I don't think there's anything here that I'm actually just going to save because I don't feel that happy with all of this. But anyway, yes, do that. Anthony, Fu, and others have created some great challenges, which I think are quite fun. But I think that's all for now. And if you want, come join me and Ben later as we do some whiteboarding the web on View Transitions API in Nuxt. So good stuff. And yeah, talk to you all later. I should check whether there's anybody who is streaming that we should all go to in case you want to carry on. Let's see. Should we do Matteo Kalina again? Absolutely. Thank you all, and bye.